In this video I'm going to show how to make sort of an easy way to make accurate connecting rods for the Rostock Kossel. If you follow what, I guess it's Johan, his suggestion, I don't know, it's a little too convoluted for me. You basically get the thick wall Goodwin's .230 carbon tube, and you basically tap it out M4, and then thread on your Traxxas ball ends. But before you can thread it, you need to wrap basically like thread around it and then CA it so it's strong enough. This is pultruded tubing, so basically it will just split if there's nothing on there. It actually, it worked fine. The problem I had is with the threading, trying to get both these ends lined up, you end up having to do like half turns, so your overall length, it's just not super precise. So what I did is I actually ordered I have sort of two different options. I ordered the .230 thin wall. It's actually not that much thinner, but what is nice about it is the M4 socket sets will pretty much just fit in them, and then I use the rubberized Gorilla Glue. So that's what I was doing for that. Also, I believe this is .3440, and what I did is I haven't made a set of these yet, but they're next. I take the Traxxas end and I take some sandpaper and I basically remove some of the material around here. Not a whole lot. You just want to make sure that you can slide it in there. You don't want it to be too tight, or you'll worry about the carbon splitting. So this may actually end up being lighter because it doesn't have the socket set screws, but and it's probably a bit more rigid. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. So what I did is I went to the hardware store and just bought buy a little plank of wood, like finished wood like this. It's pretty cheap. I measure out my distance that I want. Another thing too about Goodwin's, if you ask them, they'll cut the lengths for you. I did notice the lengths; they were consistent, but it was a little bit off what I had ordered. So these are actually going to end up being like 251 millimeters instead of 250. Doesn't really matter because you can just set that in the firmware. What you'll want to do is thread your socket sets into the Traxxas ends. In this case, I'm doing it without the balls inserted. And that's because I made these little, basically little guides. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in. Okay, so one thing I noticed on these two with my first go around is if you screw in the socket set until it's tight, it ends up kind of binding the ball up a little bit, and probably it's putting a little bit of pressure on this ring. So what I do is once I get it tight, then I basically back it off at least one revolution. So we have these now, and basically all you need to do is take your rubberized, probably any super glue or epoxy will work. Put it on the threads. And then put it in your rod. Do the same to the other end. And then you basically will set it in this little jig. And I use one of these, just an extra one to push down so it's flat. And then line these up so they're even. But and just keep them there until they dry. It takes about 2 hours for one to dry. You could do multiples of these, but I like using them all in this one jig because then I know they're all the same size, and that's the most important part. I also have a shortened version of the jig to work with the larger rods, and so I'll upload both of these if you want to play around with them. And for this, what I would probably do is put the glue on the inside of the tube first, and then push these in. Because if you put it on the outside and push these in, it's just gonna, it's gonna come all out because that's a tighter fit. So yeah, I hope that helps you out. You'll end up with some nice clean rods. They're all almost exactly the same length for all intents and purposes, and both of these ends will be they'll be on the same plane. They won't be twisted from each other. So I hope that helps you out.